Live Q&A. What happened to DJ Akademiks? What happened? That motherfucker is off of Instagram. What happened? What's up, y'all? Come on in here. My late night truck drivers and people that's up late. What's up, Mickey? Come on in here. We live. What happened to DJ Akademiks? That motherfucker is off Instagram. What's up, Markeith and Bruce and Kenneth? For those of you who don't know, it looks like DJ Akademiks' ex-girlfriend and or jump off, whatever it was, they had some kind of relationship. Yeah, I remember this lady a few months ago that came back and she said she was assaulted, and you heard some kind of a background noise going on and during DJ Akademiks' live stream. Well, she has come back. She has come back, and she has filed suit against him. And DJ Akademiks has since deleted his Instagram. And to me, I'm like, and I will go more in depth on this tomorrow when I go live. Creeps protect creeps. And you saw this Drake situation is bringing light to a lot of people, a lot of things. Drake, Diddy, and it's usually two things that happens when one of these creeps are on the hot seat. What's up, Lori? Like, we notice when these creeps on the hot seat, all the other creeps run or run to the other creep's defense. You notice ever since the shit's been going on with Drake, you know, Akademiks has been one of Drake's #1 supporters. Akademiks just last week on his live stream, when he went last week or the week before that, he went looking for the legal age of consent in Canada, talking about them young girls Drake was fucking with, and was like, oh, 16 is the legal age of consent, and he's good. And if you one of them niggas that like young girls, whatever, but that's never gonna fly around a nigga like me. And you see Akademiks, you know, protecting Drake and the bullshit. Now Akademiks is accused of the same thing. Sexual assault. That's right, Bruce, 8 of hearts. For those of you who never got in the card, look, for those of you who've been watching me for this long, and you've never gotten a card reading, and you understand that these cards just tell you the lay of the land, that's the cards do. The cards just tell you the lay of the land, what's out there. And when you know the lay of the land, you know how to move, you dig? Cards just help you with your movement when you understand the lay of the land. Hit me up for a reading, I'm telling you. I got $50 off my hour reading going on this week only. And also, usually I do this around June, around my birthday. I'll start it a little early, but usually around June, around my birthday, I extend card readings to people who can't afford them. I do that like once a year, and that time of year is coming. If you cannot afford my normal price for a card reading, inbox me and I'll get you a discount. It still ain't gonna be for free. God damn it! I learned my lesson a long time ago doing free readings. I did some free readings last year. People don't take shit. People take shit for granted. We give it to them for free. So ain't none of you niggas getting the free reading. But I will if it's just too much and you need a reading, I will work with you. But you got to inbox me info@dewanb.com. info@dewanb.com. That'll help you with the card reading if you know if the price is too much. I'll work with you. But I only do that for a short amount of time. What's up, Bert? So, yeah. But anyway, the cards told y'all what was coming. Creeps beware. Did I not say that 6 months ago? Creeps beware. And the creeps are being exposed one by one. You got I know that I've lost. Oh, you say you'll pay me not doing any card readings? All right, cool. Slide me 100 grand and I got you. Slide me 100 grand and I won't do any card readings for about a month. How about that? Then I'll pull up your mama's birthday and read her cards and read why she birthed and raised a hoe. Now, what was I saying? I forgot. What was I saying? Oh, academics. Um. So yeah, this is a time. This is a time of great exposure, and oh yeah, and like oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say. And again, I don't like getting in controversies and shit with people, but I've noticed in my chat room, and I've lost a lot of people racing over the last since the beginning of the year. People who used to follow me a lot. My first 2 years I was doing this because I stood for somebody because somebody very popular in what we call new black media space did something foul. And I'm not gonna get all the way into it. Those of you who know, because I don't, those of you know. But there's some popular uh, online person that like put out nudes of one of his listeners, and all I've done like Twitter spaces with that listener. I'm not really cool with her like that. I'm not really, I don't really know. I just saw something that I was wrong, and you can be mad at somebody, but you expose somebody's nudes. I don't care how cool I am with you. We can never be cool like that again. Because that's a deep character flaw. You know what I mean? That's a very deep character flaw for you. Even if they're not person, not all the way. If someone sent you, whether it be a picture or a text message or divulge anything to you privately, now you get mad and you expose that shit on your Patreon. And I've done shows in the past about the person, about how like I admire their work. And I did admire their work for a period of time in my life. And I'll never say I didn't. And they put in good work for a period of time in my life. But when I see you post pictures of a chick because whatever happened between y'all, and I don't even know the details, but whatever happened between y'all didn't go your way. And that nigga got served too with a lawsuit a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Kenneth, Kenneth Berry in chat room, you said it. I ain't even already trying to be in it. But I noticed a lot of people that used to listen to me from that circle don't listen to me anymore. I noticed that, and that's fine. People have to grow and move at their own pace. Maybe everybody's morals are at different levels. Some people, you're totally okay with somebody that you listen to that's hella judgmental does makes a creepy move like that. If you're really enthralled with somebody, you're going to make excuses as to why you still follow what they do, and that's fine. I'm not one to judge because people move at their own pace. You know, people move at their own pace. And a lot of people that follow that cat don't even know what happened because he acts like it doesn't happen. But I'm talking about there's a lot of people who used to follow me on this very channel who saw what happened. And it's like if you have an issue with me because I stepped up and said something, okay. I got an issue with and happy birthday. It was with one of his her birthday today, but I saw it on Facebook. But I can never speak to that person easily another day of my life and still be totally fine with the stance that I took. You know what I mean? I could I could do that. Like, and you're right. I saw somebody in the chat room said I heard a lot of people I heard a lot of people did drop. But I don't go in that chat room no more. Like I don't like I was in because homie puts out good information like on the news. I'm not one that can that's gonna diss somebody. You know, for what he does as far as the news and information. He's A1. He's A1, you know? The relationship stuff is like, know about that. You ain't missed no, you must not have ever been married, because that shit, that, I listen to, when I used to, that other channel, I don't, never really got into that. But the first channel, and I'm not mad at anybody in this process because, again, people go through self discovery and at their own time and space. But don't ever get it twisted that I wouldn't if something is like totally foul like that, I'm not gonna say I'll say something. That's just like, yeah, yeah, Bruce, it's contradictory. Yeah, that was just too much. It was just like, yeah, nah. As a married man, remember, fellas, you still got to go to sleep next to that woman, and you want your life to be, chill, happy, fun. Marriage ain't no business contract. It can be, but if it's a business contract, you better make sure you make a lot of money and don't expect her to love your ass. But if you want her to love you, it's a different kind of thing. But why did I say all that? People who do creepy shit tend to protect people who do creepy shit. Academics is someone who, see, I noticed Drake. I've been noticing Drake is a 5 month nigga for over 10 years now. It's been well over a decade. I started noticing that over a decade ago. How you know I I've been Drake. That motherfucker has been making creepy ass moves for over a decade, and I just like the same way. I was 13 when I noticed that R. Kelly was a creep. Man, that song he dropped with a lib, at your best, you are love. Man, but when I noticed R. Kelly was all, I just saw the body language as a 13-year-old. with R. Kelly on Aaliyah. I was like, are they fucking? I could see that at 13 and 14. And I wasn't even fucking at 13 and 14 yet. But I tell you what I was at 13, 14, I had a major crush on Aaliyah. God damn, I had a crush on Aaliyah. I had a crush on her. And I saw that old ass man grinding up on this girl I had a crush on. Fuck that nigga, old ass, creepy ass nigga. Yeah, age ain't nothing. Yes, that's age ain't nothing but a number. I was drawing a blank. When age ain't nothing but a number came out, R. Kelly and Aaliyah threw it in our monkey ass faces. What it was. They threw that shit in our monkey ass face. But you starting to see a lot of these niggas in media are creeps too. So they protect these creeps. Academic is a fucking creep. Academics is a creep. The way motherfucker Academics got famous off of talking about murders in Chicago. You got to be a creep to do that. For that to be your content, that's some creepy ass shit. And then you would see him say the way that he would protect Drake this whole time, the way these niggas would protect Diddy this whole time. Like, another one is Jay-Z. I'm not a big fan of, like, part of the reason why I've never been a big fan of Jay-Z, because you heard about the rumors since the 90s of him and Foxy. And Foxy was 14, 15. And you got to understand about Jay-Z. By 97, see, niggas don't realize Jay-Z's older than Nas. Jay-Z's older than, like, ain't Jay-Z older than Pac? Jay-Z's an old nigga. He's been around since the late 80s. He like Cube's age. And Cube busted in 86. By the time 97, 98 came around, Jay-Z was a vet in the game. His career hadn't taken off yet. And he was fucking Foxy. So when Jay-Z became the biggest thing in rap by 2001, 2002, I was like, oh, that's the nigga that was fucking Foxy. Yeah, you're right. I like, see, Human said Jay-Z 54, but then Clinton said, Star said Jay-Z's in the 60s. Yes, Clinton, I'm with you. I've heard Star say that too, and I've been like that. Jay-Z's like Star's age. I think they have his birthday listed as like 69 or 68. Hell nah. That nigga Jay-Z gotta be 1964, 63, 66. They always change the year up. You dig what I'm saying? It's always somebody coming in with like 1990s slang. It's like, that must be a white person talking. 90s slang. Yeah, I know of Bruce. Officially, Jay-Z's in his middle 50s. Officially, that means as far as the paperwork goes, you're right, Bruce. He's in his mid 50s, 50s. But we think the nigga's really in the 60s. Either way it go, Foxy was 14, 15, 16 when he was fucking with her. Watch out for these niggas that protect bums like Jay-Z and Diddy and Drake, and they try to make excuses. Jay-Z old. And let's go with Jay-Z's real age, 1969. Okay. Diddy was also born in 69, wasn't he? Diddy had been on since what? 90, 91, 92? Jay-Z, see, when Jay-Z was coming up in the late 80s, early 90s, that's back when rap was a young man's game. When it was still a young man's game, he lost. he couldn't cut through the other young man. He had to wait until the industry didn't support them anymore. He said, all I know is he been on TV my whole life like Morgan Freeman. So you gotta watch these creeps. Watch these niggas that protect creeps. Now, everybody's not gonna know everything. I get it. Like, if you're just totally unaware and oblivious, I ain't talking about you. Because some people just be like, nigga, all I want to hear is some good music. All right. And that's most people. Okay, whatever. But if you fashion yourself on being in the know, if you have the image of being the resource, being the person with the information, and you don't know this stuff about these people, then you're not as informed as you think you are. And if you are in information and you know these things about these people, and you tend to act like their shit don't stink because they sold a lot of records, then you're a fucking creep too. Yeah, Jay-Z older than Pac, Biggie, and Nas. DJ Akademiks. See, this is what we gotta realize. The well has been poisoned. And I got a new line of t-shirts that's gonna be dropping this Friday. I got a new line of Juneteenth and Black American Music Family, Black American Music History Month, Black Music Month in June. I got a new line of t-shirts dropping Friday. Friday. I got a new line of t-shirts dropping, celebrating June, Black Music Month. You're gonna want to order on Friday so you can have it by the beginning of June. So you can celebrate Black Music Month all month long next month and Juneteenth. So new line of shirts coming out this Friday, okay? Also, I'm gonna have a new class starting in June. So yeah, Rakim is in his 60s. Yeah, Jay-Z's old. This is what you gotta realize. The industry, what's up, Linus? The industry is full of poison. I was just we talking about these creepy ass people in so-called media that see creepy shit happen and give excuse for the creeps. Academics been giving excuses for creeps. You know, we see what's going on in black media. Certain people giving excuses for creeps. And then we find out they over here putting out pictures of people. And I don't really care whatever backlash I get from that. Anybody got an issue with me saying something about that? Again, y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna get into it, putting out pictures. But if I get a backlash from that, that means I'm getting a backlash from somebody who validates creepy behavior. So I'll be like, okay, look who's talking to me. You're supporting somebody who validated, you're supporting a creep. There's nothing anybody that supports a creep can say to me that's going to touch me in any kind of way, because it's like, you know, when they always say, look who's talking about you, like, the source matters. If a person of character says something about you, then you like, man, I got to take that one on the chin. You know what I mean? If a person of character says something, he's like, damn, somebody, you know, somebody that love you, or somebody who you may not even know them, but you kind of see the way they move, and they move in a respectable way. and they say something about you, you be like, damn, or at least me. Okay, if that person said it, then. But if you're the kind of person that, and you're defending a fucking creep, and you say something about me, then cry 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. And cry 2 tears in a bucket. You know, so he said, see, I haven't been on that channel ever since that incident happened. I haven't been on that channel, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't been over on that channel since that whole situation happened with old girl's pictures. I don't know. All I know is so. But like, this is what we got to realize: the well is poisoned. They know who to give the money to in the mainstream. They know who to get the money to. Jay-Z was around. He wasn't good enough to cut through when Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, Ice Cube, X Clan, Farside, uh, motherfucking Tribe Called Quest. When these cats are around rapping, Jay-Z couldn't cut through. You notice Jay-Z cut through way later in his career. So when he gets to the top, you got to ask yourself, what did Jay-Z do for him to get so much backing post 1998 when most of the great rappers pre 1998 either didn't get signed, something happened to their contract, their record label was bought out and they were cast to the side. No matter how great that rapper or rap group was from 91, 92, 93, 94, they didn't get renewed post 1998. We all know music changed. What the fuck did Jay-Z do to not only stay around, but get pushed to the top in the 2000s? Who put him in that spot? See, that's how you gotta look at this shit. That's why time matters. Who gave Diddy all the power? Well, Bad Boy Records. You know, Death Row was for the most part done after Tupac died. It was still technically around later on, but it was for the most part done by like 97, 98, the prime of Death Row. Um, you know, it was a lot of record labels, you know, in the early 90s that didn't make it to the late 90s. How did Bad Boy get so much backing? You got to ask yourself that. How did Puffy get around Andre Harrell? And who put him there? How did, you got to ask them, like, so when we see people, they were put there ahead of people that were more talented, ahead of people that me, you, us, we all agreed we liked more. We got to ask ourselves, how? And then once we ask ourselves how, who, then we ask who put them there. Like y'all said in the chat room, Clive Davis, Jay-Z, Leo Cohen. Dr. J is great, don't get me wrong, I love Dr. Dre. But if you ask me, DJ Quick is just as great. If you ask me, because I'm a West Coast nigga, DJ Battle Cat, I put him on the same level as, and I love Dr. Dre, don't get me wrong, as much as I see through the bullshit, and y'all know I see through Dr. Dre's bullshit. but I still love him as a producer. But I love Battle Cat and DJ Quick just as much. How did Dre get the budget and the notoriety and not them? And why? We see politically, Dr. Dre has absolutely nothing to say. And he'll be the first to say Eminem's the greatest. But who put him there? G.I. Veen. All of these black people that we have that got so-called names, they got a white boy behind them that funded it. When it goes back to the No Limit versus Cash Money, who's behind Birdman? Universal. Lucien Grange. And what's another thing they all have in common? They all have major poison in their well. Dr. Dre, and again, I don't want to disrespect Dr. Dre because I have an outside chance of working with him at a studio one of these days. I know too many musicians that have worked with Dr. Dre, and I would love to work with Dr. Dre musically. But we know Dr. Dre has had the accusations of physical abuse and doo-doo activities going on, you know? And so that's something that they could always pull out on him when it's time, especially the abuse thing. Women don't like that. They allowed him to get that Lifetime Grammy Award, but they know and he know. It was about 10 years ago, Dr. Dre was arrested outside of his own Malibu home. So they know and he know that well is poisoned. Yeah, D. Barnes. So they understand that. And Dr. Dre stays quiet. And out of everybody, I respect. Out of all of the people that are chosen, I respect Dr. Dre the most because he stays quiet. Everybody ain't gotta be political. Everybody ain't gotta, stand up. I get it. I'll stand up for us. Everybody ain't gotta do it. But you can at least shut the fuck up. And I give Dre credit for that. He just don't say nothing. And I respect that. I I have I have a lot of respect for people who just don't say nothing. People who don't say nothing, they don't hurt nothing. Everybody ain't got to be a part of the investment. Some people could just, yeah, it's better that some people just sit on the sideline and play basketball, make movies, do music, and just yeah, do that, do that, do that, do that. Because at the end of the day, most black people are confused. So you don't want most black people talking about racism and stuff anyway, because most of us confused. What's the evidence? Our situation that we're in. I firmly believe we're highly intelligent, smart people. If we weren't confused, we wouldn't be in this situation. So don't take it personal to a lot of you niggas when I say black people are confused. A lot of people be like, no, we're not. Yeah, we're very confused. That's 99% of us. If we had our heads on straight, these motherfuckers wouldn't be dominating us. They've done a masterful job confusing us. So we have to understand that about ourselves. Know yourself and know your enemy. We're confused. So so salute to Dr. Dre for just being. And then you you know, and there's nothing wrong with having. No one's perfect. Everybody got something. I got shit. You know what I mean? I filed bankruptcy in my life before. I've gotten sued for a house I used to own because implicated with somebody I was in a house lawsuit with back in my 20s. Like, so anybody can take anything that's happened to you in your past and twist it and turn it to whatever they want. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about people who got like a Rolodex of people that they done screwed over or some shit happened and they get pushed to the front. I'm talking about them. I ain't talking about the person that did something. You know, we all done did something fucked up here and there. You know what I mean? Ain't none of us perfect. I'm about the people that have a pathology of doing some weird shit. Those be the ones that they choose. Jay-Z, somebody who mimics and steals. Beyonce, another person who mimics and steals. Beyonce's a major mimicker, a major theft. Allegedly. All you gotta do is listen to the music. It's there. And so, you know, Drake, a fucking creep. And Drake has been a creep in front of us for a long time. Like what Kendrick said, who the fuck, you don't accidentally leak Johnson pics. Anybody accidentally leaking those kind of pictures is grooming. Now you don't accidentally leak Johnson pics. That doesn't happen. Only fucking weirdos do that. Yeah, Marie totally got shitted on by Beyonce. Yeah, these people. That's what. If you notice, stardom, the people who've been stars, it's been very limited the last 20 years. Usher, you hear about his relationship with Diddy and his alleged relationship with Justin Bieber. How did Usher get put? Because let's go back to 2000. Usher is another one that's been around since the 90s. Usher have been around since the early 90s. I remember my brother used to have Usher's rap CD back like in like 94. Usher was around when Tevin Campbell was another child star that was out. Usher was around during the time you had uh, Gerald Levert and Johnny Gill and that real R&B, the men of R&B. Usher was around during that time. And you can't say just a kid because Tevin Campbell was just a kid, but Tevin Campbell was holding his own as just a kid. Usher was around. Then when you get to the late 90s, a new crop of R&B singers jumped ahead of Usher. Genuine. He and Usher were on the same level. I thought Genuine was better if you talk about 99, 2000. Pony? Oh, shit, I'm going to drop my phone and shit. My bad. There we go, my bad. Drop my phone. Remember Cisco Thong Song? Cisco had busted out. So now you got a new crop of male singers busting out in there ahead of Usher. But then when Usher dropped, then that Michael Jackson 2001, they had a Jackson 5 reunion, and then Michael Jackson performed his last TV performance. That was right before 9/11, and I remember Usher and Justin Timberlake getting all of the shine. It was like a Usher, Justin Timberlake. It was like you saw Luther and Michael. They had Usher do a sing off with Luther, and Luther just totally sang him under the ground. And then you had Justin Timberlake and Usher dancing with Michael. No Cisco, no Genuine. These are also brothers that could dance and sing. You know what I mean? And Usher didn't do anything to separate himself from those guys when they were getting funded. Because remember, music is always about funding and budget. Who's backing you? Not about how talented you are. It's about how much money is backing you, and how many resources your label has to get your sound out. But then by 2002, 2003, you don't really hear nothing from Genuine no more. It's like Cisco, the thong song faded away by then and nothing came after it. And then now Usher's everywhere. Now Usher's everywhere. How did he get chosen? Even Tyrese. Remember Tyrese came around late 90s. Tyrese had jumped ahead of Usher. Hell, it wasn't much space between Usher and Omarion from B2K at the time. Because remember, B2K was hot. And Omarion, like, it wasn't, and before B2K, there was Immature. It wasn't much separation between those two. Yeah, Mario. How did they all fade away? And now Usher dancing and skating around on the Super Bowl. He didn't do anything that put them other guys to bed. Those other guys just didn't get any more access. How did Usher get up there? What do they have? So what happens is 20, 30 years later, we see these stories. Another black record executive goes down. Another a R. Kelly situation happens. Then we get this assumption, damn, all you see is black men being creeps. All you see is black men beating women. All you see is black men touching these kids. And on one level, you're exactly right, because it's really all you see when you look at the media. But you don't realize that maybe they was put there because they a creep. So when it's time, because we see it happens all the time, when a white man's on a hot seat, they got to find a nigga to throw their attention to. So all they got to do is select one of their dozens upon dozens upon dozens of hand-selected Negroes that they knew was a creep when they signed him and say, hey, throw him out there. We been knew he was a creep. A PDF is a file that you save your computers on. But no, Michael Jackson wasn't. See, they tried to make that shit with Michael Jackson. That's why they went right with Michael Jackson is where they all fucked up. They let a major guy get through that wasn't like that. So they had to create it. If Michael Jackson was that, I'm sure the FBI would have found it in the 13 years they were secretly investigating him. I'm sure of it. The FBI don't investigate you to let you off. If the FBI is in your ass, the minute they find something in your ass, they gonna get in your ass. So I can say that safely about Michael, because Michael was secretly investigated off and on for 13 years by the FBI. And he was found not guilty in court. Found not guilty in court. No, Mike didn't do it. Investigated by the FBI for 13 years. They found nothing. Mike didn't do it. And did you ever listen to what Corey Feldman said? Corey Feldman was a man that has been on a crusade, and he's been silenced. He's been on a crusade for the last 20, 25 years to talk about how he was molested as a child. And he was one of Michael Jackson's best friends as a child. And he oftentimes talked about how Michael was his safe space. And he literally Corey Feldman called out the names of the record executives that touched him. And then he did this shit on The View. And y'all remember that old dirty, raggedy bitch, Barbara Walters, another fucking creep? She defended the record executives. She was like, Corey, what are you saying? These are very powerful people. Go and look it up. Corey Feldman on The View. Watch Barbara Walters on live TV, ABC Morning, defend a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood that Corey Feldman was calling out. Yeah, P. Morton. Corey Feldman was Orlando Brown before Orlando Brown. Yeah. He talked about how, no, Michael was not that. But I can point you to some white executives who are like that. What did they say? Corey Feldman even came out and talked about Safe Chuck and the guys that were suing for the Leaving Neverland documentary. Like, what? What are you doing? Michael Jackson busted through when he was a child. And he went through at a time that musically you still had to be damn good. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope Corey's doing okay because we have a lot of creeps in the media, and these creeps defend creeps. Creeps defend creeps. And I'm not saying you got to come out and you can like somebody's art and be like, you know what? I don't like this part of what they did. Like Bill Cosby. I I firmly believe Bill Cosby's a creep. I heard he's an asshole, but that shit that they had him on trial for was bullshit. When I saw them break the law to put him in prison, I saw like, okay, yeah, nah. Bill Cosby should be put in prison on what he's done, not on what you're going to create, because we have to have some sort of a semblance of belief in the law, and the law has to correct itself, and that's why the law did correct itself and pull Cosby back out of jail because they totally broke the law to put him in there. So just as somebody who sees the Constitution as something that should be obeyed, and I'm not like, and I know that black people do not benefit from the Constitution as much as other groups, but I'm also not someone that just gives everything up and throws it all into the wind and just gives up hope. Like, no, if we're going to convict somebody, let it be on something that they've done, not on something that you created. So I was able to be smart enough to say, I was never a big fan of the Cosby Show. To me, the Cosby Show was always cool, but like the household that I had, my mom and my dad, like shit, I had my own. I was raised in a fucking Cosby, in the Brown household, nigga. We didn't have the money that Cosby had, but we had the love that show projected. So the Cosby Show didn't do anything for me because my family household was full of love. I was raised in a very coddled and very loved environment. So, that show to me was always whatever. Shit, nigga. My favorite show was Martin. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I liked that shit when I was a kid. Plus, like when the Cosby Show was out, I was still more into cartoons. Like my favorite shows in the '80s was Heathcliff, Bugs Bunny, shows like Double Dare. I was into that shit. Inspector Gadget. That was more my speed in the '80s. You know, That was more my speed in the 80s. DuckTales, yeah. And then by the time the 90s came around, I was into In Living Color, Married with Children, The Simpsons, Martin. Yeah, Thundercats, yeah. Yeah, so, but yeah, the Smurfs. I was into that, you know. Shit, yeah. But, because so, like, a lot of people watch TV, like, and I get it. A lot of people saw, like, they watch Good Times or the Cosbys or one of those kind of shows. And those TV shows would be the family that they didn't have or connected to. And I get it because it's too many environments where children were missing things. So TV was the place where they got that. Not me. I didn't get shit from TV. Nigga, Heathcliff Huxtable didn't have shit on my dad. And neither did Claire Huxtable. Ain't got shit on my mom. Not then, not now. But when I saw Bill Cosby, when I saw what they were doing in court, I said, no, we can't do that because let's put him in jail within the parameters of the Constitution. If we're going to put Bill Cosby in jail, let it be on something that he did, not on something we wish he would have done because he's a mean guy. So, yeah, Different World is one of my favorites too. Yeah. And shouts out to AJ Sanders. You're gonna start seeing AJ around here more on this channel. Y'all like the interview I did with AJ from A Different World? Y'all gonna start seeing AJ correspond more with me on this channel. Yeah, y'all gonna see her more. AJ cool as hell. And it's cold they don't have AJ on this Different World reunion tour, but if y'all saw an interview, they they got their own. A Different World has its own internal politics, and they don't want AJ to be a part of it. Probably because AJ is still the best looking person on that set. Probably that's probably why. Probably because AJ's like still looks. If you put AJ next to everybody else on A Different World, she's coming in about 20 years younger. So as far as how things look, so yeah, they probably don't want AJ on there. Like, how is the one y'all played to the side? Especially if you put AJ next to Jasmine Guy. No disrespect to Jasmine Guy, but how were y'all on the same college campus? AJ looks like she could still play a college play. AJ worst case scenario could play somebody's mom who has a middle school kid on TV, and Jasmine Guy can play somebody's great grandmama with 32 grandchildren. So, and y'all was on the same college campus 30 years ago. People will be asking that question: how did 35 years? You know, so they did the homegirl AJ wrong. They did her wrong. They did her wrong, and she can't say it because she in the game, but I can say it. A Different World. I grew up watching you. A Different World. That ain't right. It's good that y'all had Dwayne Wayne on there. I liked him on the Different World reunion. It's good y'all have who y'all have. Look, that's fine. But how y'all not gonna have AJ? That's the question. Yeah, the Different World. That's probably what it is. I think I just solved the mystery why AJ Sanders isn't on the Different World reunion. Because, in all quite honesty, she would look like one of their grown children. That's probably why. They're like, we are not about to have the girl we tried to play to the side in 92 come up on this panel with us looking like one of our oldest children. Oh, this is my daughter. She got a PhD from Rutgers University, and yeah, she's now working at Sutton. Like AJ really could be Jasmine Guy's adult daughter. And if she said that, no one would be like, oh, we would all be like, okay, I see that, yeah. Okay. But I don't want to cause any contention between. That's different world said if y'all watching, that's me talking. That's not AJ talking. That's just I just had that epiphany right now off the top of my head as to why y'all didn't call AJ Sanders to the reunion. This nigga said Jasmine Guys ain't helping when Booker T. Washington was a commitment speaker. Oh shit. But back to what we talking about. What happened to academics? Academics been talking all that shit. Academics been talking all that shit. And now he deleted his Instagram. And then he was talking shit about the girl's lawyer. Much love, S. Dimmers. So, oh, you said you think they're using the OG cast mind? Where's Lisa Bonet? Hell, AJ looked like goddamn Lisa Bonet's daughter too. Shit. Yeah, like yeah, no. They can't have that. They can't have that. But academics is somewhere surrounded by teddy bears and kitty porn in a fucking hovel, hiding out. He's probably on the phone with Drake. Like, Drake, can you hear me? Drake, can you hear me? I'm gonna need a lawyer right now. Drake, can you give me some money for a lawyer? Academics got money for a lawyer, but it ain't looking good for the creeps. That's why you must be able to identify creep behavior yourself and move accordingly, back away. And sometimes you may be getting your money with a creep and you have to ignore it. I ain't saying that, look, everybody gonna be on their own morals, but at least shut the fuck up, you know? You see Stevie J coming out to defend Puffy, and he's been rubbing elbows with a whole bunch of weird shit over the last 20 years. We've known who he is. Saw some weirdo activity going on around him, so we see that, you know? We can't be afraid when people move funny. And again, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. It's a paradox. We also can't make these people be perfect either. No one's perfect. Like that's the other issue. People like to project perfection on people in the public. Everybody got issues. Everybody got problems. So you don't necessarily need your people in public to move perfectly either. But there's a line. You messing with kids, or you like even like Joe like it goes to the top to the presidency. Joe Biden. Joe Biden, his whole career has had nothing but creepy moments with kids. Like from when he would put awards around little girls' necks and he'd be all up in her ear. Joe Biden is a fucking creep. His own son in those leaked emails had his father named as Pedo Joe. Like, Joe Biden is a fucking creep. And ignoring that creepy behavior allowed an obvious creep to be president. The same way with Trump. Trump has been a creep since I was a kid. I remember as a kid in the 80s thinking, why is Donald, I remember asking my grandmama, why is Donald Trump famous? What did he do? And my grandmother telling me like back in like 89 or 90, like he's just, I don't know, he's famous for being rich. And I was just like, I was like 9 or 10, like, because this was like around the time he had filed bankruptcy and then got rich again. I remember my grandmother talking about it a lot. And I remember thinking like, so he's just famous for being rich? And then I would observe Donald Trump over the years. He was a fucking creep. So now you got two creeps in 2020 battling it out. And they're about to battle it out again in 2024. And you got both sides talking about how the others are creeps. And they're both right. But the side that they're on is creeps too. And both, whether you're a Joe Biden fan or a Trump fan, you're dealing with people who've been open creeps for about 30, 40 years. These are creeps. Drake is a creep. Being, excuse me, being defended by academics, who's a fucking creep. Jay-Z is a creep. Puffy's been a creep this whole time. Puffy's been a creep in front of our face this whole time. Puffy has never not been a creep. Now, I wouldn't say that we knew or was privy to him being with underage girls, nothing like that. But you saw the way he moved with his people. You heard what Craig Mack said. You heard what Biggie's family said. You heard what Mace said. You heard what Mary J. Blige said. All of these other artists that we like, they all got the same story about Puffy. You heard about, at least if you're around LA or New York or Miami, Atlanta, you heard about Puffy's freak off parties. You heard about how Puffy treated Kim Porter when they were married. All that stuff Cassie alleged in the lawsuit, you heard that same stuff about him and Kim Porter. I remember hearing that about Puffy moving like that in '05, '02. Not so much in high school, because he was on the East Coast. I was tapped in back in, but I saw the way Puffy was moving with his artists, but '05, '02, 2010, you heard the stories about Puffy and Kim Porter. And it isn't, okay, womanizing is one thing. Okay, a man got a whole bunch of chicks. I ain't talking about that. A dude, yeah, he's married and he's fucking 25, 50 other hoes. Whatever. That's just, when you dealing with somebody on the level of a CEO, that wouldn't surprise me. But you hear about the abuse. Puffy been out there. These creeps, man, these creeps been out there, yo. That's what I'm looking at, that Isaac Hayes Jr. dude, Isaac Hayes the third dude, funny. On one hand, you trying to use blackness to raise money for fan base, and I hope like on one hand, I root for him, but I see how hard on Twitter that dude's been ignoring the way Drake moves with them little girls. I'm like, nigga, why would I support somebody who's turning a blind eye to who not. I understand. Turning a blind eye to something is one thing. I get it. You're not gonna fight over everything. But when you go the down route out defending creeps and you ignore their creepy behavior because you like their music, be silent, cool. Nothing wrong with just, well, you defend the creeps. Yeah, you gotta draw a line of sand somewhere. You say like how you acted on Making the Band. See, I never watched Making the Band. I remember hearing about it though. Yeah, you right. We had the internet though too, but we were already using it. Plus, the environment. I remember being on the internet in 2002. Those of us who were in chat rooms back then, and those kind of rooms, we were kind of known as creeps. They looked at us funny. If you were like in a chat room like in '98, you were a weirdo. Like, why are you in Yahoo chat? I didn't been in that. So if you were in Yahoo chat and you had something to say, or not just before even before MySpace, Black Planet, and you had something to say about being in the know, nobody would believe you because you were on the internet. That's funny how 20 years can change. We're talking about 0102, and you claim to have information about somebody, a celebrity. Back then, celebrities were perceived to be so far away from the internet. People would look at you like, how would you know you're an internet dweeb? Like, people who are out and partying, they're not on the internet. People on the internet were perceived as nerds who had no social life. That was the perception of the internet in 2000. We did have an internet communication apparatus. It was called Yahoo Chat, AOL Chat, Black Planet. I know because I was on all of them. I was there when MySpace first started. Hell, I got my Facebook account in 2004 before it became open to the public. It was only available for college students. So, yeah. But back in those days, 2005 Facebook, if you were seen, because you couldn't go to your phone as easily, you had to go to your computer. So if you were posting this stuff on the internet, the first thing people would be like, they'd be like, nigga, you don't know, you on the internet, you an internet cornball. And me, I was somebody who would know because I was, even though I'll be on the internet, and then when I was 21, I was at all the parties, 22, 23. And then I would come home about 2, 3 in the morning and get in Yahoo chat and talk shit. Or I'll be in Yahoo chat, like when I was in college. I'll be in Yahoo chat in the daytime, whatever, go out and party. But I knew back then not to really type what I was going through. Because if you type that, oh man, I was just at a party, yada, yada. First thing people gonna be like, you lying nigga, you on the internet. You wasn't at that party. Yeah, MSN Messenger. Internet was a wild west back then. You damn right. Yeah, those of us who are on the internet, we were seen as dweebs. So they're like, man, you a dweeb, man. Get out of here. You wasn't at that party. So yeah, so if you knew something back then, you heard it word of mouth. You heard it from somebody who was there, or from somebody who was there. Like we've been hearing all the stories about Will Smith since the '90s, about how he, like back in the '90s in LA, you heard about Will and Jada, dingling around. That was before that shit was popular on the internet. You heard about Will and Jada dingling around and shit like that. So if something ever came out, you'd be like, oh. Now the chat rooms weren't full of it, depending on what chat room you was in. I used to hang out in Yahoo chat, and when I was a teenager, African American Teens Room 1. That's where Bismarck T, all you niggas, y'all would have got it from me back then. When I was in college, when I was in high school, the '90s, when I got to college, We was in African American Yahoo Chat African Americans room one. Room one is where we like to hang out, and also I'll be in room 11 sometime. And if you came in that room, you couldn't like in the 90s. You didn't have your picture on the internet. Like if your mom had a scanner at work, you may have had a picture, but no one knew how anybody looked. So we just clown you based off your name or the color of your text. And we just would just roast all day. We came up in the chat room. Oh, oh, this nigga's name is Dirk Diggler 69. You ain't 69 and shit. The only thing you 69 in is you and a Teddy Ruxpin doll. And we would just go in on that person on how they probably look. We'd be like, Dirk Diggler 69 probably look like Tyrone Hill. And if you niggas are too young, go Google Tyrone Hill for the Philadelphia 76ers. This back when we'd be like, oh, that nigga, we just crack jokes on how we thought people probably looked on the internet back then. And I used to be on that motherfucker all night clowning niggas. This nigga probably looked like a set of pig nuts. This nigga probably looked like this nigga's hands look like burnt out skin marks on a tire. This nigga's neck probably looked like the back of a the back of a leather belt. That's all we used to do back on the internet. Back like I'm older now, so my jokes don't really flow like they did in my 20s. I'm more of a teacher now, and when I get on stage and crack jokes, that's where my comedy is. Like at 42, I'm more of a teacher, but in my teens and my 20s, oh my god, we used to just talk about how we thought niggas looked, nigga. What's up, G? So yeah, that's all we used to do. We just crack jokes on how we thought niggas looked. We talk about people's mamas. We talk about what the car we thought they drove. Like nigga, somebody be talking shit. Like nigga, they be like, oh, so like somebody come in the chat room. Hey y'all, hey everybody, I just got a new car. We be like, man, this nigga got a '72 Datsun. Nah, this nigga probably got a '81 Yugo. This nigga got a Flintstone car. He driving that shit with their 2 feet. This motherfucker converted a bus. This nigga got a bus with a Pinto engine. And that's all we would do. If somebody came in with good news, we would just crack jokes on what we thought they did. That was the internet in '98. This nigga got everybody. I've been cracking jokes like this nigga got a Ford Fiesta, got a $2,000 Ford Fiesta with an $8,000 sound system in it. We used to just go in. Hell yeah, that was a shit. And then like we be in Africa, then it would be obvious like when the white trolls would come in and they would come in with bots and they would spam the room. You would get these white trolls to come in with bots that would spam the room. And then we let the bots go by and then we start clowning them. If we had a white dude, we be like, nigga, your keyboard smell like mustard. Nigga, your mama gave the whole town of Boise, Idaho, that lemon smelling, that tart pussy. We just that's what we used to do on the internet back then. Yeah, we weren't clowning the Africans nothing like that because they wasn't on the internet back then. And if somebody had like an African screen name, we would tell them that. We'd be like, this nigga must be typing on the internet from Cleveland because they ain't got this shit in Cambodia. We be just going in. So like I'll be seeing some of y'all in the chat. I'll be thinking like, man, I wish YouTube with the chat was around when I was 21. I wish that shit was around when I was 16. Oh my God, I wish it was around when I was 25. We used to be murdering motherfuckers when I was 17. We used to be murdering motherfuckers. But I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. Listen to some music. But watch out for these creeps that protect creeps. Now Academics ain't got no goddamn Instagram, and you know it's fucking his head up because he love that attention. So if people want to say quiet on issues, that's fine. I don't never begrudge nobody saying quiet. But when you openly protect these creeps, now I'm looking at you funny. All right? But next Friday in Long Beach, Fast Fridays, May 24th. May 24th, Fat Fridays. Me, J-Mo, we gonna be up in the house with the live music, all right? TheWannnabe.com got a new line of t-shirts coming. I'll holler at y'all.